drinking buddies. Welcome back to another episode of Half Passed Out. We are deep in our Watch Madness bracket. This week we are doing the first round of our over 10,000 bracket. That is as vague of a bracket title as we can be. We're going to see some wild price points in here, really ranging, I think, up to $200 some odd $1,000 and down to like $30,000. There's no other place to put these, but they're independent watch brands that deserve to be talked about, and so they're in the over 10,000 bracket. Before we get into it, Will and Hunter, what are y'all drinking today, and what watch are you wearing?
I brought the review watch, so I'll put it up on the screen, but I've got the Christopher Ward in titanium green.
Excellent choice.
So really been enjoying it. It does kind of disappear off your wrist. It is. But I will say this: if you wear it 3-4 days in a row and then you swap to a stainless steel, it feels heavy. Who'd have thought? So it's been a very interesting experience getting used to that weight. And I've paired it with a Dale's Light Lager here.
Classic.
Little 95 calories. It's 10 o'clock, so we got to watch the calories. So
yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to be working right now.
It's how it goes. So we're excited. Will, what you got?
Oh, I was muted the whole time. That's awesome.
Classic.
Yeah, this is our new job. And that's sweet. I'm also rocking our test model. I think this one's been shown before. The Christopher Ward. This is the stainless steel. Got it here.
Yeah.
It's that baby blue dial. My quick summarization that I gave the guys on this. I like the watch a lot. I like the weight of it. I have no gripes with it. It's a very dressy piece.
Yeah.
And I would limit my occasions to wearing it to that. I tried to kind of daily drive it, and it wasn't for me like the first Christopher Ward that was sent to us as far as daily driving goes. However, for kind of the nicer occasion, or the when you want to dress up and maybe wear something a little different, it certainly stands out. The piece does. People really draw to the dial. I wore it to a few different occasions, and I noticed that right away. So I like it so far.
That's interesting. I felt the opposite way. I thought the green was too dressy to wear every day, but I wore the blue constantly.
A la-ti-da. Some of us don't get to wear the green and the blue. Some of us only get to try one on.
Well, that's your fault. I gave both of them to you at the same time.
Logistics is not our strong suit.
Yeah,
I would say it's mostly Hunter's fault. Yeah, but Hunter spends 19 hours per day on the golf course.
Yeah, again, this is
so
our
it's
job.
Really hard. It's really hard to coordinate when the watch is free to get.
Challenge for Christopher Ward: make a watch that I feel comfortable wearing on the course.
I think that's a mindset thing.
Yeah, I would wear
that's
both
a mindset
of those.
thing. I think they're both plenty comfortable. I go against what Christian said. I specifically would prefer the titanium.
Okay.
I don't like anything like adding weight to my swing.
Your swing is very hesitant as is, Will. You don't need any distractions.
Yeah, definitely don't grip it and rip it. Yeah.
Well, hey, we'll do a full review on it. We're going to record that next week, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, they're great watches.
What do you... I'm pairing that with a Nooner. Tequila base, though, so I'm not straying too far from the well.
How are the tequila noons?
It's good. I like them. Just outright enjoy them. So I got strawberry here. It's not as good as did I have passion fruit?
Bring some over this weekend.
That one's good. It's that or Coors Banquet. And,
hey, Coors
I might
bring chaser. A shot of Casamigos and a Coors.
Yeah, I don't know. I might bring the Coors for you guys.
Thank you. That's kind. That's sweet.
Isn't it? I thought so. I thought that's really doing a service to the world.
Well, since you both took my watches, I thought it was only fair that I wear Will's watch.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think second.
This is a trend.
One
it's
of Will's
just
watches
wearing
is worn by
not me.
When we traded for the Christopher Ward's, Will was very drunk, and I said, "Hey, I want that one," and he took it off his wrist, and now I have it.
I was sober. No. I was sober by then.
He was sober.
I was sober by then. I had stopped drinking at 10. I think Christian saw me at 11.
Let's say you were half passed out.
Yeah. And I've got with it the Voodoo Ranger hard charged tea, the half and half. It is better than a Twisted Tea. That's kind of the only praise I have for it.
Wow.
It's not quite as good as a Four Loko, but better than a Twisted Tea. So it sits somewhere in between.
Damn.
I think we have differing opinions on
we all have very classy drinks and classy watches. So let's get into this. Hunter, you want to start us off?
All right. We are looking at the over $10,000 bracket. Our first matchup here is our Laurent Ferrier. I'm not going to say any of these right. This is going to be by far.
This is going to be funny for me.
This is going to be the hardest corner of the
bracket. Tell you what, I got the next watch. It's the MB&F Legacy Machine.
Okay, but what does MB&F stand for, Will?
Yeah. You got it.
We'll take a look. Let's look at the MBNF first. This is a legacy machine here. We'll just kind of scroll in.
Yeah, I will say this structure is going to be a bit different than our other 3 brackets. Finding price points on these is a lot harder. Finding good photos is almost impossible because we can't just take them off the website. So we're going to do like a full website review. There's a lot of details to go over.
Honestly, even if we tried, the websites half the time are not.
Yeah, exactly. We don't get this cool video though. This is great.
Yeah, this is nice. You guys get to tune in.
Laurent Ferrier, I will say, is an award winner. It got the, GPHG, which is like, I guess, the big Super Bowl of watches. I don't know. For their calendar piece. I do love the double-sided moon phase and the pointer date. Initial thoughts. What do you guys think between the two?
It's tough.
Here's this guy. As Christian said, right, here's the GPHG from 2024. Laurent Ferrier, as far as I know, they are like no stranger to this accreditation from GPHG. It is an annual like show, if you will, and like each watch like gets selected. I know there's different categories as well. So just looking at this, it looks like it's for the calendar specifically and the astronomy. There are other versions of this watch. This is the only version that achieved the accreditation, if you will, or I guess the award. Those are kind of my initial thoughts. And like, you know, this company's no stranger to, you know, racking up awards. Not the first watch that they've put out that has a ton of strong praise. I also noticed that they had a ton of press, not just across Hodinkee, but a ton of other publications as well.
Except for us, Laurent Ferrier. Hook us up. We'd love to be on your press board.
We'll have to check it out. But here's like an example, right? Like this blue one here did not receive the award, but it's effectively the same watch in a different colorway. But that history is kind of cool, just to look at kind of what this annual calendar looks like, and a super complex watch, and you're going to get some of the best here.
Similar price points to the MBNF too. This is the Laurent Ferrier, I believe, is 80,000 francs, which is, I don't know, what, $1 million US, versus the MBNF, which is $80,000. So obviously my, calculations are off, but they're fairly similar.
Do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research.
Do your own research.
It's bad enough. You might as well spend $1 million. You know, it's a Rick Ross situation here. Just dollar bills.
Does anybody know how they're going to vote on this one off the top of their head?
This one's hard for me.
Yeah, good. That's kind of the point. That's what I was hoping for.
Because we're at the point where if you're willing to buy the watch, I'm kind of going to throw value out the window, at least for this one. Because I think they're unique in their own. It's hard to price things like this at this point. Now, don't get me wrong, if we get to a piece, and I think there is a piece that's just dumb, then I'm going to call it out against other market comparable pieces. Yeah. But these are in their own. They're unique. I really love the moon phase on the one. I'm a sucker for that, and I can't believe I'm going to pass on.
No way.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by this. I want you to know I'm saying this with my own shock. MBNF legacy machine for me. I wore something semi-similar to this piece and that Hermes piece that we had talked about a few weeks back. Yeah. And I just really like the look. I like the two different dials there, and I'm a fan. I think it's really cool to look at, and I've got an idea of what I'd like in that. And it's blue. I'm a blue watch guy.
Yeah. I think you make a good point. In this bracket, I think price is less of a value statement because you're already spending a stupid amount of money. So it's like what speaks to you. I also am going to vote the MBNF on this. I think at $80,000, I can buy a moon phase I like just as much for a lot less. You know, the movement and everything is really cool. It's an award winner. That's great. The MBNF is going to stand out. I would wear it all the time. It's not too flashy, but it's very cool.
That's why it won for me. It's just a bit different than what I consider another moon phase, and a very cool one. I think the technical aspect of it, and I do think it's well finished. I think the moon. I don't want to shit on it because I do think there's a lot of great things about it. But at the end of the day, it is a more simplistic look, and at the price and the difference, I was just like, I'm going to go with. Yeah, it's a subtle thing with the moon phase, and I'd have to talk it up more to explain my purchase.
Yeah, I think you're speaking to two very different customers, right?
Yeah.
There's a almost a romantic feeling with the Laurent Ferrier. Sure, whatever you call them. MBNF, love your company name. You're easy to say. But this is kind of this more like futuristic, like you're going to try something brand new like this. The flying spring wheel, is something that a lot of these kind of progressive looking watches are are offering. This huge domed glass is something that you don't typically see on the more classic looking watches. I think it's a bit too much for me, so my vote does go over here to Loren.
Yeah, you like going chalk a lot.
Yeah,
you're definitely a favorites guy.
One of those things.
So and I pure upsets. You can stick to the ladies brackets.
We're here for the upset though as a team. So MB&F Legacy Machine is going to move on. We have
fuck the chalk.
We have another blue watch in our next matchup.
Yeah.
It even calls it out. So on the right there is the Day Bethune DB28 kind of blue.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. I think it's very blue. Against the FP Journe Chronomètre Optimum. Initial thoughts on this matchup, gents?
4-5's tough.
Yeah.
This plays like a 4-5. And I'm going to take words from what Hunter said last. I think these are speaking to very different people.
It's wild.
And quite frankly, it pulls on two different heartstrings for me, and it makes it tough. Because there's a part of me that really loves the artistic blue sporty piece. That's going to stand out, and everyone's going to see that on your wrist. You're looking at 6 figures, I think, for the kind of blue.
The kind of blue does generally range from about 100 to 120.
Right.
Yeah, we're at the point here where the website will not tell you how much it is.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
A lot of them just direct you to a boutique.
Yep.
The FP Journe ranges very heavily based on...
Yeah. The one we're looking at specifically is right around 2 to 250.
Okay. Yeah, you can get some used ones in the 150 market.
Yeah.
There's a sketchy version for 80. I'm not trusting that.
That's TV, though.
You can. But yeah. So for an opposite look, I gotta go with the FP Journe.
Really?
I think I'm feeling these juxtapositioned dials today.
Okay.
Opposite reasons. I'm feeling more romantic about this piece.
Yeah.
With you get to see the power reserve is right there. And I think usually not a big fan. I think the power reserve can be pretty disruptive in a dial for me. So it's tougher sell for me. I love it. I've seen some power reserves go on the back, and I think that's real cool. This being on the front fits with the dial type. I like what it's doing. I just like it a little more.
Fair enough.
I do think that kind of blue pops. I'd love to see them do a kind of red.
That would be hot.
Hunter, that could be the red for you.
Could be the red for me.
Okay, hear me out. Take out a second mortgage on your house.
Actually, just sell it, buddy.
I could get rid of it. I could afford maybe a quarter of a different bracket swatch.
There you go.
You could sell the house, live in the cars.
There you go.
Now we're talking. See, practical buying advice.
There you
You
go.
know what's crazy is there's a podcast out there that I'm not kidding. They think that's the move, and I'm not shaming for those that like that style, but that seems nuts.
Yep, couldn't do it.
You know, the Tesla has camping mode.
Yeah.
You just run that 24/7. You're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to just park at Park Meadows all the time.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the Mickey D's wouldn't mind running an extension cord.
Exactly.
Let's get back to...
How often you go there?
Yeah, Hunter, what are you picking between these two?
So here's my considerations. Obviously, we have kind of the new age Star Trek looking watch here.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm
Just
also
really
looking...
Hint of aventurine.
Yes, hinting of aventurine, particularly just in the center here. I wish I could zoom in more. I'll end up doing it in post.
Okay, thanks.
But... This watch, one thing that Day Bethune does really well is in order to achieve these like crazy colors is they just blast the shit out of it with like heat and sulfur and everything. And then you just have to like dial it in because otherwise, you know, it's going to be just a tinge off.
Mm-hmm.
It also offers a little bit of like uniqueness to your watch. Like, oh, if you miss it by a split second, right, your watch is just barely different and it's unique to you. So that's my consideration for here and what I'm loving with this kind of blue. Because as kind of blue as it is going to be uniquely blue to you. Didn't mean to rhyme, but there you have it. The other
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, we're here for it. The FP Journe, just some fun facts for you. When you do a lot of like print on your dials, a ton of companies do this. What they'll do is, I'll end up zooming in post, with these with the text, what they'll do is they'll change the size of like one of the letters. And typically it'll be like the same letter every single time. And what you'll notice is in FP Journe, in their logo, the J and the E are slightly larger. J kind of makes sense, E not so much. And that helps prevent from counterfeits.
Really?
Seeing that like all this, that's
on every portion of it, or just the FP Journe part?
they'll typically do like one or the other, or Cartier does a very tiny, in Roman numerals of their Santos. They have the Cartier logo hidden in their Roman numerals. Just some cool stuff. Actually, Christian and I got to see them in person.
That's right. The guy showed us.
Yeah. So FP Joint is one of the companies that do that, because, you'll get a Chinese knockoff that's like, let's make something that looks exactly like this, right?
Sure.
These two hands will work. These two won't do anything, right? And it'll be a battery in the back. But the one thing they won't be able to do, to the untrained eye, is be able to see that one of these letters will be slightly larger on the real thing, and they aren't going to pick up on that. So just a quick little thing, if you're trying to keep your make sure that you're not getting scammed, right? That's just something to look for. So, and I love that obviously this watch has a lot of opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
I am going for De Bethune. I think the science of the whole color combination thing is super fun.
Yeah, I don't feel passionate that you're going against it. I think that's a really sweet watch. Christian, breaker. Not a lot of these have happened so far, so I'd love to see the buzzer beater.
I do. It's the De Bethune for me. For sure. It speaks to the same part of me that the Ulysses Nardine Freak does.
Yeah.
Where it's a really interesting design. I loved slightly exposed mechanism of the movement in the back. The layered. I love the shape of the case is really unique. They took a Tano shape and made, I don't know. Guys, I'm so tired. We talk about watches so much. I love it dearly. I can only come up with so many words.
It's made out of titanium. Hunter, would you wear this watch on the course?
Yes.
Tell you what, if I have the money for a De Bethune, I have the money for a second De Bethune.
Exactly.
So, that is the math. Yeah, that's what you told us.
So I think I'd be fine on the course here.
Happens. You put on this De Bethune, then you go over to your cheapest city 9-hole, and you just play golf all day long, and you do the same 3-par 9-hole.
I need an executive par 3 on a Muni course. I'm ready for it. Yeah. I mean,
this watch, the 2 blue watches are going to go head to head next round.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be tough.
I love it. I mean, this thing looks like an F1 car. I mean, it's going to take off.
It's cool. It's real cool. I'm not that sad. I mean, both are excellent watches.
All right.
Now we get to go on to 2 of my favorites. I'm excited for this.
See, I go against that. I think these 2 are much worse than either option of the last watches.
Oh, really?
So we have the Ming 3704 in some sort of rose gold, I want to say. This buckle does not look real. Crayon Anywhere Aurora in green. Christian's favorite watches. Why don't you give us your thoughts first?
Yeah. Crayon I found, I don't know, probably a year or 2 ago when they first released the Anywhere. I really like the different take that it does on the moon phase calendar, where instead of just your standard moon phase, it's a day and night calendar on the outer rim. So you've got the aventurine stars, obviously, for night, and then the rim will change depending on the sunrise and sunset time. So that's why it's a different width, and that will constantly change throughout the year. I really love the finishing on it. I chose the green. This one is a limited edition. It just came out, I believe, this year. I've got the press release somewhere around here. But it's $173,000 for this bad boy.
You have the press release for
the Crayon?
Yeah, nice.
Some watch brands, and if you're listening to this, because we know you all are, make press releases just freely available. Because then we could talk about it. That's cool. About 25, or it's limited to 25 of this model. There are other color combos that are more readily available, but I like the green. And then the rose gold features one of the complications that I have always wanted on a watch. It counts on the outside as a tachometer, which is useless because nobody cares about that.
Your least favorite complication, I think, on record.
The inside, however, counts beats per minute, which I've only ever seen once on a vintage Raketa. For essentially doctors, to be able to track beats per minute. This one's much more reasonable. I think it's 48,000 francs. So what is that, $2 million US? Do your own research.
Figure it out. You'll be fine.
I love the rose gold guilloche dial with it's a printed loom on the glass. So everything is elevated above it, which gives it this really nice depth. Beautifully crafted watch. I think this is one of Ming's first forays into precious metals. Most of their watches are a lot less expensive. So I think they did a really, really nice job with this. A little bit dressier versus a little bit more chaotic. For me personally, I would wear the Ming every day. That's going to be my choice going in.
Ooh, I like the pick. I think I agree. It's just enough of an understatement that, you're not going to get too many eyes.
Yeah.
And obviously dollars out the window, right? Assuming you can golf in every watch.
Yeah, of course.
Trying to figure that one out on my own.
That's our main measurement. Can you golf in this watch?
That's our main measurement. Here's the raised
look
loom.
At that shit. That looks so good.
Yeah, it's really cool. The loom is kind of unbelievable, honestly.
That's nuts. I'm glad we pulled up the gallery here because this is super impressive from Ming. One of the things that I'm thinking on is the guilloche dial. So this is a super cool technique. I'm not sure who does this for them or if they do it in-house in terms of the press itself. It is a bit easier to do a press as opposed to like an etching. And weirdly, like I'm not sure how the crayon does it, but I'd imagine they're both pressed.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm handing it to the Ming here. I think that the green is just a bit much. Obviously, like there's going to be more color combinations for the crayon here, but I certainly commend like this, opportunity to do the calendar in such a different way that we really haven't seen before. And then also the other thing, I just zoomed in on this to show it, but there's almost like an aventurine style to this almost chapter ring, if you will. But the moon phase is super cool. You can just barely see the specs. So those are kind of my two favorite pieces, but the vote's going to go to the Ming for me.
Well, Ming's moving on, but Will, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Tougher decision for me. Neither of them are my favorite that we've seen so far.
Sure.
I really think the complication of the crayon is cool. That's kind of about it for me on the crayon.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's called you drop whatever it costs on your watch. You're like, I bought a crayon.
Actually, though, facts.
It's kind of this. Is it called crayon? It
might be pronounced different. I will only ever call it crayon.
Yeah, and that's a
hard
problem.
Y, by the way.
Hard Y.
Crayon.
I just probably a disservice to the photos, but if the press photos here are not my favorite, I'm questioning the finishing.
Fair.
It looks meh. We just got off a different website selling a different watch for $100,000 or whatever it is, and I thought the watch looked unbelievable. This just doesn't blow my socks off.
Yeah.
It looks fine. Yeah. That's my review on the crayon. I will say what they're doing with their whole calendar thing, I think is really cool. And I'm going to be a little mean to crayon right now. I hope someone else adopts maybe.
That's kind of the thing. I would love to see another brand do it.
Because I think this can be done in a cooler watch. Maybe the colored pencil brand coming up. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. The Ming goes on. Ming's my pick. The rose gold grew on me, Christian. Good. I still don't know if it's my absolute favorite color of that choice, but the more and more I look at the rose gold, it's sneaking up to be my favorite. So for that alone, pretty fucking cool.
There you go.
Ming, moving on. Ming, thanks for not being a child's coloring device.
I will say, Crayon also had the worst website of all of the ones I visited. Because I searched for probably 30 watches to pick out this bracket. It is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Anywho. Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're moving on. Final matchup of the video, we have H. Moser and Studio Underdog collaboration. Christian, why don't you give a shot at this name?
Zappik.
Ooh, he killed it. Yeah, I think he got that.
I know, I nailed it.
Now, Hunter, you do it. Tell us what you were gonna say.
Yeah, Hunter, this is your mother tongue.
This is where you're from, bro.
I think Zappik makes sense. Is it Vendôme?
Vendôme. I think it's Vendôme.
Vendôme. Place Vendôme.
I'm gonna go Vendôme because there's no accent.
Yeah, the Place Vendôme.
That's a Spanish thing.
There's no accent in the slide I made. It is on the website.
Huh. Oh, Vendôme.
Yeah.
There
Keep
it is.
in mind, the most technology illiterate person made all of these slides.
Yeah, the fact that you said that sentence wrong speaks to it.
Thank you.
$100,000 for the Vendôme, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me more about it. What are the...
This watch currently is a year to make. They are still available to buy, but when you place the order, it is a year before you get the watch because they make them all one at a time. That's the main thing I need to talk about. That is a long time to wait after spending $100,000 on something. Beautiful watch, super well crafted. I mean, you guys look at the same pictures I am. I love the movement on the back. A full year to wait. What do you guys think?
Show me the H. Moser one more time, just for that side by side. That'd be great. We are on record loving the shit out of some H. Moser.
And Studio Underdog, for that matter.
Yeah, we like what's gone on with their brands.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not their best watch.
Really?
Mm.
And that's where I'm gonna end it.
Are you gonna vote with the Zappik then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Well, it is annoying that it takes a year. That's definitely a detriment. For $100,000 watch, and their website still not great.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is also very cool.
Totally.
I think that if you see it in action, you can go to their website, do your own research. It's a pretty cool watch. And I think it stands out where I think you can probably get a better watch from this brand either down the line or some of their other releases that are probably sold out. So I'm not going to just throw out, hey, go get this watch because it's probably gone. But we've talked about a lot how much we love the watermelon of Studio Underdog. I don't know. I just think I expected a little more from this piece. I saw the listing when you put it in, and I was excited. And
yeah,
I don't know if it's a colorway, if it's just boring. I'm sure it looks stunning in person, but Miss Pac-Man is currently eating a purple blob is kind of what I'm getting out of it.
That's a hell of a
right?
thing.
Like, I'm not.
That's it.
I love it.
They have some sweet pieces, and I don't want to shit on this brand because I do really, really like them.
Yeah.
But this just one isn't for me. The passion fruit's a miss for me.
You're wrong, Will. You're absolutely wrong.
Wow. Hunter's going to be breaking up the tie. All right.
I'll leave Hunter to be the tiebreaker. But the colors on the Moser Studio Underdog mix are I think it's the best color combo we've seen in this entire bracket. I love the purple and yellow with the textured dial. I love that they did 2 editions of the watch. One that speaks to Studio Underdog's designs with the 2 subdials, and one that speaks more to H. Moser's design language.
To our listeners, Christian's birthday is in the later half of the year.
Yes.
He wants Pac-Man merch.
Yeah, a whole bunch of Pac-Man merch. I'll give you our P.O. box. It is in Wyoming, but Hunter will make the drive.
We'll make it happen.
But no, I love the Streamliner. I love the Studio, and I love like the colors, the magenta with the gold. I would wear that constantly because it's so unique. It stands out. Whereas the Place Vendôme is to me like, I'm gonna say the other side of Ulysses Nardi watches.
I just don't like either of these
where
watches.
They're big and maritime and old fashioned.
Yo, the 4-5. Just saying, 4-5 seeds kill.
They
all
did.
Of these.
Well,
like,
we'll
I'm
see
not
the semifinals for this bracket.
The Vendôme gets smoked next round, man. If it passes, I don't know. Let's see what Hunter passes on.
Yeah, Hunter, what are your
Either
thoughts?
way, it's getting smoked.
All right, we'll see. Well, the Plus A Vendôme has 13 available. I think Studio Underdog was making how many of these guys?
Oh,
unknown reserve option.
You can
It's
reserve
a blurred line for stock. I have an update
pairs.
on that.
but the fun is unlimited.
The fun is unlimited. It's 100 pairs, so they're making 200 watches.
I wonder
Really?
if you get each watch I wonder if you get both when you buy.
I think from the way that they're marketing it sounds like you're buying both.
Which is great.
Hey, if you can buy one.
Exactly.
And
Hunter, break the tie.
I'm going to go Miss Pac-Man on this one. Give me H. Moser for the win. And here's why. I'm pretty sure. Can I zoom in on this thing? Nope.
Do it in post.
We'll do it in post. I like the Pac-Man one more, and I'm pretty sure that the second hand is like literally 3 millimeters long.
It's so small. You're absolutely right.
It's just a little nub. It's like a lime green color, and that's giving me like beachy vibes.
Yeah.
They do the same thing in the subdial here for the more Studio Underdog version of the watch, and also just the main second hand as well. But yeah, give me H. Moser Studio Underdog. The little passion fruit.
I wanted to give an update before we conclude the episode on some stock situations that had happened in the past. I got an email back from Carpenter Watches.
Oh, you emailed Carpenter Watches?
I did. I was real sad the M23 was out of stock. Or no, I'm sorry. It was a different piece.
The 19, I believe.
Yeah, the M19.
Something like that.
They emailed me back. I asked about their stock situation, and they said, unfortunately, we don't plan on making any further watch models. The M23 will be our last and final offering. In the case that we decide to offer a pre-sale, which model would you be interested in?
I would have to go through their entire lineup because I don't remember the one that we originally selected.
It's the 19.
Okay.
And it's not really close. I went through them. The M19 just stands out a little bit more than the rest. And it ultimately, you're like, every time you look at every watch, I'm like, the M19, just a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's like when we looked at our buddy's van, just a little bit worse. The opposite situation, right? But
that's really sad, though, and I think we should hold a funeral for Carpenter watches.
Yeah.
Not that we ever bought them, but
we would. We thought of. I was this close, man.
Well,
that
you're
M19.
kind of at fault here.
I'm at fault.
Let's think about it. How many watches would you have to purchase from Carpenter Watches to keep them in business? And
I think they're thinking about making more watches. I'm going to email them back. I'll let them know the M19, there's a reason it's sold out. I'll drop our information with them. I think they sell out again. That's my
certainly.
little side prediction for the end of the episode. Let us know what you think. If the Carpenter watch from the beginning of this bracket were in stock, would you get it? Let us know. We will communicate that as necessary.
And on that note, cheers. We'll see you off in the next round.
To the next round.